You Can Lead a Horse to Murder. Secrets of Sanctuary Cozy Mysteries. Volume 1. Written by Tara Meyers. Narrated by Cris Dukehart. 1. The small mountain town of Sanctuary, Washington, had a way of luring you in and never letting go. Ember Burns slammed the tailgate of her truck before leaning wearily against it. There was no denying the beauty of the valley they were nestled in, and she paused for a moment to appreciate it. The jagged outline of the Cascade Mountains cast a long shadow before the rising sun. Tumbling hillsides were draped in evergreens that spilled out into the valley, blanketing it with the woods Ember came to know as a child. Closing her eyes, she envisioned the solace of those woods, and the smell of the fallen pine needles warmed in the summer heat. Letting out a slow breath, she looked again to the top of the peak, and feeling the power of the landscape, was ready to press on. It had been a long week. A long month, really. That was when she'd come back to Sanctuary to say goodbye to her mom forever. It was a beautiful ceremony on another gorgeous summer afternoon, but it was the darkest day of Ember's life. Pushing the gloomy thought aside, she forced a smile before looking up at the rustic sign she'd just finished hanging. Tilting her head first one way and then the other, Ember squinted and pursed her lips. It looked crooked. I should have let Blaine help me hang it. Kicking half-heartedly at one of the truck's balding tires, she walked out into the street to examine the storefront from a distance. Sanctuary Animal Clinic, she read aloud. Not very original, but it got the message across. Glancing at the neighboring stores, she confirmed that the styling matched the quaint southwestern theme of the town. Banners were strung across the narrow street at every intersection, advertising the upcoming centennial celebration on the 4th of July. Originally a logging town set deep in the mountains of Washington state, Sanctuary now relied primarily on farming and tourism for its income. When Ember left 10 years ago for college, a young 18-year-old ready to take on the world, she didn't think she'd live there again. But plans changed. A fresh wave of guilt built in her chest, forcing her to place a hand over her racing heart. The anxiety started the day of the funeral and wasn't letting up. She'd need to go for a hike soon. It was one of the ways she recentered herself. Slipping a scrunchie from her wrist, Ember gathered her long red hair into a ponytail with practiced ease. She still had a lot of work to do. The best way to keep her mind off her mother's sudden passing was to stay busy. Walking back to her truck, she caught a reflection in the large storefront window of
Sample complete. Ready to continue?